Sorry, but what? You seen that? Don't know why, guys, but I've been breaking out quite a lot. This redness, by the way, around my eyebrows is just because of the gel. I've just been gelling up the brows, you know. But yeah, like, we've got a bit of acne going on. I think it's hormonal acne. I was gonna do my makeup and do kind of like a get ready with me whilst I talk about this, but I genuinely, like I said at the start, like I'm dealing with a few like skin issues right now, and I just don't really feel like putting makeup on my skin, so we're just gonna talk instead. I've got some cute little clips in my hair that my friend got for me. I feel like they're very cute. They're keeping my hair out of the way, keeping my hair at bay. Okay, also, how cute is that little bookshelf? If you watch my videos every week, you know, you're up to date that we are redesigning this space, and this is going to be our little cozy corner. We are yet to get a rug and a chair and really make this corner a bit more functional, because at the minute it's just where I do my makeup, and it's basically just a storage area, to be honest. I am going to show you when it's done, and I'm very excited about it, but it's a slow process. We're doing it bit by bit. But yeah, I am going to put a few of these little CBD drops on my face. Sam got me these for a little anniversary present, and oh my god, I cannot tell you how much I love these. Yeah, really do recommend. So I wanted to make a little video about anxiety. I don't know, you know when you're just like going about your day and you think, oh, that's weird, like that's weird that my body responds this way to anxiety, and I just thought there's some certain like anxiety symptoms and manifestations of anxiety, whether it's like physical or mental or emotional, whatever it is, that don't go unnoticed, but I feel like people don't necessarily always know about them, or you know, if there's someone who doesn't really deal with anxiety, or people who do deal with it and maybe think they're the only one, or like, I don't know, I just thought it would be really like useful and helpful to some people to make a video about anxiety symptoms that no one really talks about enough, I feel. So the first one, which is something, like I said, that I'm yet to find out if anyone experiences this too, because I've just never, you know, heard about anyone kind of having this same experience. I talk to my mum sometimes about my anxiety symptoms, like when we're in the car, and I'm just like, this is so weird. And yeah, so one symptom that I get quite frequently, if I'm in quite a high state of anxiety, so maybe I'm really anxious about something, like I'm on the way somewhere and I'm kind of freaking out a little bit, I get really weird kind of, this is the only way I can describe it, but it's like a high-pitched feeling. It's not painful, but it's a feeling, and it's so annoying because I can't actually explain it, but I get like high-pitched feelings in my wrists. Yeah, just like a sharp, it's almost like, this is also something that not everyone will be able to relate to, but like if you've ever been put to sleep before and they inject you with that kind of stuff that puts you to sleep, I forgot what it's called, that has a certain feeling, and it almost feels like that, but obviously a lot less, a lot more diluted, but it's a very, very noticeable sharp kind of feeling, and it can run anywhere from like here all the way into my fingers. Like usually it's into my thumb though, so it's kind of like that. And yeah, that's just when I'm in quite a high state of anxiety, where it's kind of like you can actually feel it kind of rushing through your body, and that's just one symptom that I kind of deal with that I just don't really hear about often. And if you do experience this as well, honestly, like let me know down below, because even though I'm making this video for other people, it would make me feel a lot better as well if I knew that other people also experience these things. I'm sure they do, I just haven't yet had that conversation with someone where they've been like, oh yeah, like I get that too, you know. But yeah, like I said, this isn't a painful feeling. It's not painful, and it doesn't stop me, you know, from doing things. It's one of the less severe kind of symptoms in my eyes for me, but yeah, it's still there, it still happens. I just thought, let's put that in the video, let's see if anyone else experiences that. So the next one, again, this is one that I think is very common, but again, I just don't think people talk about it enough. I don't think people kind of mention it, you know. But it is, I guess it's a symptom of dry mouth in a way, but I don't get this as much anymore, but I used to get this quite a lot, like on public transport and stuff. So this is when like spit just keeps forming in your mouth. Like I can understand why people don't like just brag on about this because it's not gross, like it's a symptom of anxiety, like, and I feel like that's the whole reason I make these videos, is because I want us to be able to talk a bit more openly about things and, you know, not give in to that stigma. But yeah, it's such a big one that I experienced for years, and I still do, but just a lot less. But yeah, I'd be on the bus and I would just get, spit would just form in my mouth, and I think it's because of like dry mouth when you get anxiety, but like in exams and stuff, like it would just be there and I'd have to like, but yeah, that's just another one that's quite, I feel like people don't really speak about a lot, but it's just like quite an inconvenient one, you know, it's just a bit inconvenient. It's like, oh my god, this is kind of annoying, like you have to actively be like, oh okay, because it's almost like if someone comes up to you, so let's say I was sat on the bus and I've got all this like spit in my mouth, and I know this sounds really weird and I actually feel kind of embarrassed like just even talking about this, but back then I would even be embarrassed just to swallow it, like just to get rid of it, because I was so concerned about, you know, my surroundings and being like, oh, someone might hear me like swallow or something. I know it just sounds crazy, but that's what I dealt with for quite a while. And it just like, just imagine if someone like came up to you and you had like a mouth full of saliva and they like tried to talk to you, you'd have to like, you know, get yourself together before you could even open your mouth and speak. So just, yeah, that's just another one that I used to deal with, still deal with on a rare occasion, but I feel like it's quite common. It is quite common. All of these that I've put down are kind of things that I've experienced. And this next one is stomach migraines. So obviously migraines in general are very much associated with anxiety. Stomach migraines again are a bit of a rarer one in my experience. I used to get stomach migraines in school. Well, not in school. If I had one, I was not in school, but I used to get them. I remember when I was a teenager, basically, when I was in high school. So they would be triggered by anxiety, and a lot of the time, for me anyway, it was a mixture between anxiety and eating like badly. So I remember being at a friend's house once and we had like a takeaway, and I was really anxious because it was school the next day. I think we were going into year 9, I can't remember. But yeah, it's the first day of school the next day. We were having a sleepover. We were all going to walk to school together. It was really cute. It was actually really cute. And yeah, so I ended up getting a stomach migraine because of the anxiety paired with the greasy food. I was like throwing up in my friend's toilet. It wasn't nice. I missed the first day of school as well, which wasn't great because I actually didn't end up getting my timetable, which really threw me off. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know where I was going. Anyway, got a bit sidetracked there. But yeah, stomach migraines. Again, one of those things where migraines, like headaches that turn into migraines, are very common. Like, I feel like everyone knows about them. But I used to tell people, oh yeah, I'm not in school today because I've got a stomach migraine. And they'd be like, what do you mean, like stomach migraine? It'd be like a migraine up the stomach. It just wasn't as common. And pretty much if you don't know what it's like to experience a stomach migraine, it's kind of like, you know when it's coming. It's a very strange feeling. It's like a bellyache, but it's more intense, and it kind of gathers in a very specific area of your stomach. For me anyway, this is just my personal experience. I can't speak for anyone else who's experienced stomach migraines. Like at that point it was bearable, but I would know every time it happened I'd be like, oh my god, I know it's coming. And then it would just gradually literally move around my stomach and spread. It just felt like it was spreading all over my stomach. I would be in agony. Like it's one of those stomach aches where you cannot get into a good position. Like no lying, standing, fetus position can get rid of this pain. It was awful. If I had one of these, I would just be on the floor, changing positions, trying to like dull the pain at all, like even in the slightest. It was so unbearable. And the issue with stomach migraines is that you can take ibuprofen, take paracetamol, whatever it is. But for me anyway, what happened was I would just be in agony for like half a day, a full day, and then I would throw up. And once I threw up, even if it was a little bit, it would be gone. So it was very strange. It was literally horrible. Like, I remember literally trying to make myself sick when I had them because it was that painful, and I knew how it worked. So I was like, if I'm sick, I'll be fine. Like I won't be in as much pain. So yeah, that's just another probably quite common, again, symptom of anxiety or manifestation of anxiety that I feel like maybe not everyone experiences, obviously, but it's very much a real thing. I knew 1000% that these stomach migraines were triggered by my anxiety. So yeah, but I can safely say that I've not had one of those for about a year, maybe even a couple of years. So we've made progress. Okay, so another one, I'm gonna put this down now. I did actually put it all over my face, I think. Yeah, very nice. I usually put it on before bed, by the way. I feel like that's the best time to do it because when you wake up and your skin is literally so soft. So I really recommend putting it on before you go to bed as a part of your nighttime skincare routine. So yeah, the next one is twitches. So these are different to tics. This is not tics at all. It's not Tourette's or tics. I'm not talking about like a syndrome or anything. I'm just talking about twitches, so anxiety twitches. So I used to get these again. A lot of my anxiety was on the bus, I'm coming to think. Like on the way to school, I just had so much anxiety on the bus. Like I had all these public transport, you know, it's traumatic sometimes. So yeah, I would get twitches, still do, again, experience these like anxiety twitches from time to time. Again, not as bad. I would be quite embarrassed again about these twitches because they're uncontrollable. You're not in control. So for example, you could be sat somewhere. What's going on here? What's going on? Anxiety. Must be anxiety. No, I've just got strange skin. I don't know, it would be different every time. So it could be like a lip kind of thing, or like, to be honest, it was mostly like my head. So it would it would literally just go like that. And sometimes it'd be quite dramatic, or it would feel you're like not in control and your head just twitches. But yeah, that was just another one that I experienced. And you know, you're anxious as it is, and then it just makes you more self-conscious because you don't want people to look at you, you know. Well, I didn't when I had quite severe anxiety. I wanted to be invisible. Like I wanted to be as invisible as possible. So, you know, I'd sit really still. I wouldn't really do anything, wouldn't really move a lot. And these twitches would just come on and I'd be like, oh my god, like if people see me right now, they're gonna think I'm such a freak. These days I honestly just don't really care. Like I said, my anxiety, I'm so lucky, and I owe it a lot to myself, to be honest, because I've worked a lot on myself over the years, and you know, it's just not as bad for me anymore. And if I do get any of these anxiety symptoms, I can deal with them a lot better, and I just don't judge myself anymore, whereas I used to get them a lot and judge myself a lot, so it was just not a good combination. But yeah, again, if you have any of these symptoms that I've mentioned so far, you're not alone. Like, this is why I'm making this video. You're not alone, and it's not something you have to be embarrassed about. And like I said, it is common, and even though these things aren't talked about enough, I do believe they're more common than we are led to believe. And just through personal experience, I know that if I'm experiencing something, most likely someone else somewhere is also experiencing that thing.